This is Lady Gaga. I'm voting for America, which means I'm voting for Joe Biden.
The unforgettable video we are about to show you is a deep, emotional, and brutally honest takedown of the Village People's biggest fan, Donald Trump, as the chorus of indignation over his actions and behavior mounts daily. It makes sense why it's been circulating on social media once more. Stephanie, Joanne, Angelini, Geminata, or Lady Gaga as the world knows her, is no stranger to speaking her mind and utilizing her gifts to uplift and educate. You could say that she personifies the American dream and the American spirit because she is a self-described misfit with an incredible work ethic. You could even say that she contributes to the greatness of modern America. And now, speaking from the perspective of a child whose parents of Italian ancestry worked hard for everything they accomplished and instilled those values in their two daughters, one of the most accomplished figures in arts and culture speaks. We're going to show you this beautiful and moving video in a moment, and it features her deep humanity and absolute elegance. Yes, she's a terrific actress, an astonishing performer, and a true role model for a generation. But her greatest role might not be as a world-class vocalist, but rather as a vocal advocate for the value she believes in deeply, and for the message she delivers in a way only Lady Gaga can. So let's have a look at this impassioned call to action that is so profound and relevant today.
Right now is time for action. It's time to muster all of our energy, every ounce of us, every ounce of hope and optimism and enthusiasm, every ounce of fear and frustration and discouragement. Now is the time to show up and vote like this country depends on it, because it does. And I want to remind you, listen to me, I want to remind you and all the people who are listening, we all know that this thing may come down to Pennsylvania. We need you. We need your family. We need your friends. We need your heart. Vote like your life depends on it, or vote like your children's lives depend on it, because they do. And to all the women and all the men with daughters and sisters and mothers, everybody, no matter how you identify, now is your chance to vote against Donald Trump, a man who believes his fame gives him the right to grab one of your daughters or sisters or mothers or wives by any part of their bodies. Vote for Joe. He's a good person. Thank you.
The personal stakes of voting are something Gaga emphasizes, and it speaks volumes. Trump's policies and actions have had real detrimental impacts on countless lives. From his mismanagement of the epidemic to his regressive policies on women's rights and climate change, Trump has regularly endangered lives. Voting against Trump is a required action to save our loved ones and next generations, not only a political one. Surprisingly, this isn't the first time Lady Gaga has spoken out against corrupt Republicans, Trump, and his family. Back in 2016, she put her foot down against none other than Melania Trump. She tweeted, "Melania Trump to say you will stand for anti-bullying is hypocrisy. Your husband is one of the most notorious bullies we have ever witnessed." Pointing out the obvious hypocrisy given Donald Trump's reputation as a bully, Lady Gaga called out Melania Trump on her claimed anti-bullying posture. From insulting political opponents to parading disabled reporters, Trump's actions have been anything from perfect. It's ridiculous that Melania, the former First Lady, could assert she supports anti-bullying while her husband encouraged it everywhere. Given Trump's several convictions, this discrepancy is even more obvious now. The 2016 Twitter post by Gaga on the FBI concluding there were no criminal grounds in the Clinton email inquiry exposes the double standards applied to Trump. His supporters still assert persecution, even though he has many court cases. Trump's cries of fake news and witch hunts are desperate attempts to distance himself from his own criminal activities, which have now resulted in actual physical consequences, unlike the unfounded accusations on Clinton. Today, Gaga's message speaks to even more people. Trump's divisive words have only gotten more sharp, polarizing the country even more than before. His legacy of hate and fear-mongering stands quite opposite to the unity and hope that leaders like Biden and Clinton aim to inspire. Trump's attempts to discredit democracy have not only split us, but also given extreme factions within the nation more confidence. Lady Gaga still was not finished.
Hey, this is Lady Gaga. I'm voting for America, which means I'm voting for Joe Biden. And if you live in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Florida, or Arizona, I encourage you to vote. And if you have a friend that lives there, tell them to vote. I'm gonna be in one of these states tomorrow. Guess which one I'll be in? Hint, I used to live there.
The direct appeal of Lady Gaga to voters in pivotal swing states emphasizes the value of each one vote. Her message reminds us of the power of personal voices in determining the course of the nation, not only of action. Her will to cast a ballot stands in sharp contrast to the indifference and division the Trump government generates.
Lady Gaga is being slammed for sharing a pro-Biden video in which she posed near a pickup truck wearing camouflage while chugging a beer in an apparent effort to pander to working-class Americans. The singer shared the bizarre video days before she was scheduled to appear alongside Joe Biden at his rally today.
The reaction against Gaga's video reflects the political and cultural gap widened by Trump and his supporters. Although critics claimed she was patronizing, her goal was obviously to get in touch with a larger audience. By contrast, Trump's strategy has always been to split and alienate. Gaga's attempts to bring people together and inspire involvement draw attention to the clear discrepancy between her America vision and the terrible road Trump and his team are following.
While the video may have been well-intended, many have labelled it condescending and Gaga's attire as mocking rednecks. The 34-year-old singer joined Biden's campaign trail today, where she encouraged Americans to vote.
While some would have found Lady Gaga's outfit and gestures in the video objectionable, overall the message was unity and action. It reminds us that occasionally the delivery of a message might overwhelm its intended meaning. But unlike Trump's divisive policies and provocative speech, Gaga's message stays one of hope and group effort. Her participation in Biden's campaign is evidence of her conviction in a better future for America, one that transcends the pettiness and hate Trump has encouraged.
Gaga's going to be speaking, I'm going to be singing. Big Festival, I can't thank you enough for all you're doing.
I'm so excited. This is wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
It is abundantly evident from considering Lady Gaga's passionate calls and direct challenges to the Trump government that the struggle for America's soul is still underway. Trump's legacy is one of division, but voices like Gaga's remind us of the power of unity, love, and persistent action. Let's heed her call and work together to build a better, more inclusive future. On that note, we have our own U.S. newscaster special of exposing Trump for you to enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Hope you enjoy.
The background for this article is that Dr. Jill Biden has showed up to Hunter Biden's trial in Delaware, unlike Melania, who never showed up to support Donald Trump during his criminal trial at all.
Dr. Phil McGraw didn't exactly psychoanalyze former President Donald Trump in their primetime sit-down interview, but he did extract at least one juicy detail from his private life. The TV host mostly let Trump vent about his New York hush money trial on the Dr. Phil primetime special.
He is tough and he is persevering. He is honest and he is real. He's an optimist and he's a relentless believer in America and all of her potential. He loves his family and he loves his country with his heart and his soul.
Not one of these things is true, and she knows it.
It turns out, and we've known this for a little while, that she doesn't have the strongest grasp of the word complicit.
If being complicit is wanting to be a force for good and to make a positive impact, then I'm complicit.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that.
And it was really an unfair trial.
They also discussed how the guilty verdict from that trial has affected Donald's wife, Melania Trump. From the sound of it, all that the former president can do is speculate about how his wife has been feeling.
I know people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared as Black people in America. Black men, Black women, Black kids, we are terrified.
And who is placing the target on their backs? In part, the former leader of the free world. Because at the end of the day,
I don't know what it means to be complicit.
she clearly has the IQ of her father.
Donald Trump's recent guilty verdict in his hush money case has brought the entire family together, closer together. A source tells Page 6. Says our source, the recent family bonding, this includes a thaw in the sometimes chilly and tense relationship between Melania and Ivanka.
In what seems like a slip of the tongue, Donald confirmed everyone's suspicions that the Trumps are not exactly the chattiest couple. When McGraw inquired about how Melania has been coping lately, Donald started rambling, arguably even projecting his feelings onto a wife who apparently doesn't have much to say to him. He tried to spin it all as a positive.
We saw how this family misused the powers that they had. We saw what happened over the past 4 years. And how much of a threat they are to not just democracy, but everyone in the country.
But benefit of the doubt, you know, she's in an interview, maybe she was just trying to make a point and actually does know what it means to be complicit.
I don't know what it means to be complicit.
Okay,
Nothing would bring a stepdaughter and stepmom together like your spouse or your father being found criminally guilty for falsifying business records, making hush money payments to a porn star, while the stepmom, in this case, Melania, had just given birth.
But I don't think it's an easy thing for her. And I think if it wasn't good, she wouldn't want to tell me about it, to be honest with you, because, you know, she sees that I'm fighting like hell.
Luckily for Melania, if she wants to know what's going on with her husband, she doesn't have to speak to him. The former First Lady can always read about it in the papers or watch cable news, though Donald might not like her doing that.
Here's another one from Twitter. I cannot believe that Theodore is 8 months old today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. He's 8 months old.
You guys know this. Tomorrow is former President Trump's 78th birthday. Trump's birthday should be fun. The last time people gathered to say, are you one, are you two, are you three, they were counting guilty verdicts.
It is so telling, and I think people really need to understand just how this case gets to the heart of who Donald thinks he is and has been pretending to be for his entire adult life. He doesn't mind that he's going to be on trial for heading up a corrupt organization or stealing government documents or inciting an insurrection, because that gives him street cred with his base.
Melania never showed up in court to hear the sordid details about her husband's alleged affair with adult film star Stormy Daniels. It seems to really bug Donald that she can just read all about what led to his felony convictions on 34 counts. But he painted it as a problem for Melania.
Donald's actually there, which just goes to how extraordinarily important it is for him to try to spin this case away from the truth, which is that he's an entitled loser who did nothing but waste his father's fortune.
It's not easy for her to read this kind of stuff. That's fake.
The former president also said he'd prefer that news outlets only write about him when it comes to his legal issues and not drag Melania into it, saying,
I wish it could be just about me.
Either Ivanka doesn't get how birthdays work, or, and this is possible, do rich people get more birthdays than we do?
The source added, the entire family, including all the Trump's children, their significant others, including Don Jr.'s fiance, Kimberly Gargoyle, are all circling the wagons.
Donald's actually there, which just goes to how extraordinarily important it is for him to try to spin this case away from the truth, which is that he's an entitled loser who did nothing but waste his father's fortune.
Is it this picture or is it this picture where Karen McDougal was there at the same time Donald Trump was cheating on Melania with Karen McDougal? The verdict has also served a major fundraising boon.
I will say that there was a more rational side of the White House at the time, but I definitely saw that in meetings where people definitely started to sound like everyone else. And I see this, I mean, you know, we see this in talking heads.
Cuddling my little nephew Luke, the best part of an otherwise incredible day. That is a dumb statement in an otherwise stupid tweet.
We do know that Melania hasn't really showed up anywhere, that she's been in hiding, that she refuses to go out in public with Donald Trump. But if you believe Page Six and all of the propaganda, where have we heard this before that Melania feels a certain way?
I think it's concerning of what's to come, and I worry about if we end up with a dangerous individual, whether it's Trump or someone like him. I don't rule that out because it seems like this movement is basically taken hold, right?
Now, a lot of people have made fun of Ivanka online for this, but I'd like to say something in her defense, Jim. I'm a little bit complicit with Ivanka here. If complicit is heretofore defined as I support her, which it timelessly doesn't.
Well, here was the Page Six report from December 25th of 2023. Melania Trump to step up public appearances for Donald in 2024. It's time to leave her mark on history.
Apparently, when the chef at Mar-a-Lago asked what kind of cake he wanted, Trump said, "The kind with the file baked into it." Get out of here, boys.
Every lie he's told, every ounce of psychic energy he's spent over the decades has been in the service of protecting him from the truth about who he is.
So now what we've seen is Trump, going back to 2015, right, beat the hell out of him. Remember, once he was talking about, to a police union or a police organization, he said, hit him, hit their head on the side of the car. And then obviously we saw real violence, whether or not that was the Proud Boys, any of those people. And then January 6th,
Melania Trump says she supports Donald's 2024 campaign. That was May 2023. That's nice. That's nice. She supports the campaign. Very, very good. Well, let's take a look at that support. Remember after voting in Florida?
The closer he gets to being confronted with that truth, the more dangerous he's going to get, the more out of control he's going to get. Yes, we saw some fireworks in the courtroom, but that was a mere prelude to what we can expect, especially if, hopefully, he loses in 2024.
That's right. Tomorrow is Trump's birthday, and to celebrate, he made a special video.
Oh, really?
Check this out.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to one of the greatest, smartest, totally innocent, good-looking people I have ever known. Happy birthday to me.
They have basically been told that what they're doing is okay, right? When you call those January 6 people, what are they calling them right now? Hostages in quotes? Yeah, you're sending a message to all of those people that attacked the U.S. Capitol, and you're telling them you were wronged. Your actions weren't wrong. You are the ones being wronged when they're the ones that committed the crime.
In the primaries, by the way, where he underperformed, and Melania was asked if she's finally going to appear at some campaign events. And she said, "We'll see. We'll see." Play the clip.
Mrs. Trump, are you going to return to the campaign trail with your husband? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Are you confident that you can pay?
And Trump's visit to Wisconsin next week comes as the former president is debunking a report that he called Milwaukee a horrible city.
That report from Punchbowl News, NBC News, CNN also confirming it happened. Trump told House Republicans during a meeting today Milwaukee's a horrible city. The president called that report fake news.
We've already seen reporting that if Donald were to win in 2024, his team of truly the most despicable anti-American people on the planet is essentially planning to turn this country into a military dictatorship with lots of revenge on the side.
If Donald Trump wants to talk about things that he thinks are horrible, all of us lived through his presidency, so right back at you, buddy. And it appears that that Donald Trump just does not like cities. And these urban challenges are not unique to Milwaukee. They exist in cities all across the United States. But I'm proud to say that in Milwaukee, we're making progress.
We know that the Saudis provided billions of dollars to real estate ventures to the Trump organization. Saudi Arabia announced last week a $20 billion investment in an infrastructure fund managed by Blackstone Group, which, of course, whose head has a very close relationship with the Trump organization.
So the Republicans had so many off-ramps to take. The most obvious one was the insurrection on January 6th, time after time, they refused because they are too afraid of losing the base. And it's too late now. It is absolutely too late, barring unforeseen circumstances.
There were multiple cognitive moments here in Donald Trump's speech in North Carolina. Here he talks about migrant crime. Play the clip.
But here is that same dim-witted Eric Trump on Fox and Friends. Here's Trump saying, now, he thinks he's being clever, and maybe for the Fox and Friends audience, he is.
Donald will be the Republican presidential nominee for 2024, and we can lay all of that at the feet of the cowardice and, quite frankly, just the power-hungry, anti-democratic whim of the Republican Party.